This is a special report from Fox 35 News, tracking the tropics.
Hey there, everybody. Storm Team Meteorologist Noah Bergen here. Thanks for clicking on our tropical update on our website, our apps, and on our YouTube channel. Lots to discuss. Let's get right to it. Francine, as of late this evening, now a hurricane center as of this evening. I recorded this mid-evening, is about a 386-mile jog southwest of downtown New Orleans. 75-mile-an-hour winds, northeast at 10, 982 millibars. I want you to look on the satellite. Notice how the left side, you can already see how there's no clouds here. That's the dry air that's getting funneled and sucked down out of Texas and the desert southwest. That's going to eventually help to weaken this Thursday once it gets inland. But it's going to be a lopsided hurricane where all of the clouds and the presentation and the rain is going to be on the east and the north side as it approaches New Orleans tomorrow. To the north, very dry air. In fact, it was beautiful this weekend. You don't need me to tell you if you're in those areas. But in Florida, we've had just prolific rain the last week and a half. There's been a front draped across the state. This hurricane is going to help push that front to the north and get it out of here. So effectively, the rain chances are going to go down this weekend and early next week in Florida because of the hurricane to the west. Here's the latest cone from the Hurricane Center. A landfall late Wednesday is a Cat 1 or 2. Remember, the cone tells you where the center may go, not the extent of the impacts, but regardless, it looks like New Orleans will be on that dreaded east side of the storm. And then from there, the remnants go up the Mississippi Valley towards Missouri by Friday into Saturday. So here's the latest cone with the spaghetti models. Notice in the grand scheme of things, there's really good consensus that this is going to go basically right up paralleling the Mississippi River. The center line there in pink, I've accentuated and highlighted so you can see it. That's the center from the Hurricane Center. They call it to be about 70 miles west of downtown New Orleans, but notice how many of the spaghetti models are a lot closer to the city. I think that that's probably more realistic, that the storm will end up being on the east side of this cone. There's even some private weather modeling that suggests the eye will go right over the city Wednesday afternoon into the evening. Rain totals will be significant well inland. You see this area right along the track up to western Kentucky, Tennessee, southeast Missouri, eastern Arkansas of 2 to 5 inches of rain. But right where the landfall is in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, down into more rural areas here, 8 to 15 inches of rain just from Francine Wednesday afternoon into the evening. We never obviously want to see a hurricane hit anywhere on land or in the United States, but inland areas are desperately needing rain, and they're going to get it. Look at the cone track with the current drought monitor. I mean, basically everywhere on the east side of the cone is in some level of drought. In some spots, it's actually extreme drought in middle and western Tennessee. Storm surge, probably up to 10 feet. This still may go up more depending on the intensity and the track. 4 to 7 feet in Orange, 3 to 5 feet Lake Pontchartrain over towards Gulfport. Here's our exclusive Fox model. Notice strengthening overnight into Wednesday morning. Then the dry air takes hold, but the dry air doesn't really weaken it upon landfall. It just kind of holds the intensity steady. And what I mean by that dry air is, look over here, there's no rain and storms. That gets pulled down into the southern side of the storm, then up into the eastern side. So a landfall late Wednesday afternoon into the evening. And notice how all the rain is displaced on the north and the east side. Once the eye moves through, there's hardly any rain compared to on the forward side of the storm. That's because all this dry air that gets pulled in from the desert southwest United States behind the hurricane. Then from there, the remnants move up through Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. These bands here Thursday afternoon, you see this here, these will be having a need to be watched for tornadoes. I do think there will be a very favorable environment with dry air atop of that surface tropical air mass. When you have dry air upstairs, you really get a favorable environment for tornadoes like this. So central eastern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, western and southern Georgia, late Wednesday night into Thursday all day, certainly a risk for some tornadoes. And that may even carry into Friday as you see the center here just sit and swirl over Tennessee and Kentucky until it finally falls apart. In terms of that model comparison, pretty good agreement. In yellow, I've got our exclusive Fox model. In purple, a pink, the Barron model. It's a different private company model. And then in red is the NOAA GFS model. Notice there still is discrepancy in the timing. Fox model brings the storm here. You see the close contour of yellow, a landfall about 4 o'clock on Wednesday. Barron models closer to 6, and the GFS is even later in the evening. So we'll watch that difference in the forward speed. But the next storm up will be Gordon for this year. So here's our long-range Fox model, and I want you to notice the storm comes inland. Notice in that pink area, swirls over Kentucky, Tennessee. Then watch the energy gets back out over the Atlantic by next weekend. So this is the 14th of September. It's possible going into the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. The energy for Francine goes up to about Paducah, Kentucky, down over Nashville, then back towards Charleston, South Carolina like this, then out like that. Once it gets back off the southeast U.S., that remnant energy is going to get trapped here from high pressure over New England, and there may be a new tropical storm that forms from the ghost and the remnants of Francine the middle of the month. That would in turn go into the Carolinas. So that is something to watch, directly caused from the remnants of Francine between the 14th and the 18th of September. Out in the deep tropics, a couple of things to know about. 2 areas, one in red, one in yellow. Yellow area is not really concerning, but the one in red has an 80% chance of development over the next week. GFS and Euro in pretty good agreement. There you go. Maybe a tropical storm by next week, possibly a hurricane. Now this one here probably will recurve away, so good news there for the east coast of the United States. But here you can see the Euro indicating that potential for a tropical storm heading the Carolinas September 17th from the remnants of Francine regenerating a new storm. But there would be the potential for Gordon heading into the middle of the month. That one probably will recurve safely away east of the United States. So this will be a major impact to New Orleans, especially mid-afternoon through the overnight Wednesday. Hurricane force gusts into downtown, significant funneling effect of those winds into Lake Pontchartrain, storm surge, and the threat for tornadoes on the east side of the remnants, even into central Alabama, southern Tennessee, Georgia, heading through the day on Thursday. So that's your tropical update for tonight. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Noah Bergeron.